Hello and welcome everyone. This is Cavalier Astoria, and today we'll be continuing on with the Call of Duty 2 campaign. This time swinging back to do the British Normandy Campaign.
June 11th, 1944. Only a few miles east of the American landing beaches in Normandy, France, British Commonwealth forces struggle to capture the major city of Caen. It is here that they are faced with the superior firepower of elite panzer divisions arrayed along the German defensive line. To break the stalemate, the veteran desert rats of the 7th Armored Division are sent into the hedgerows of Normandy. Their mission? Probe the western flank of the German defenses and clear a path to the city of Caen.
Sorry about that, just realized my fan was on. Not gonna screw up another recording. But yeah, that little documentary talking about how taking Caen was probably the hardest thing done throughout the entire Normandy campaign. Basically, in short, the British faced very little resistance on the beaches. They did face some. And as they got inland, the Canadians, and various other Commonwealth forces ran into Caen, where there was a pretty major defensive line set up by panzer divisions and other Germans in the area, which was actually the exact opposite of the American situation, which was the Americans had a very rough time getting onto the beaches. But once they got off of the beaches, it was actually pretty smooth sailing. In fact, Caen was deliberately defended because it was a major hub. And meanwhile, the U.S. forces on the western side, they faced very little resistance actually, which meant that they were eventually able to swing underneath and form the fillet pocket that would, break the Allies out of the Normandy campaign. So yeah, this is going to be June 11th, so just 5 days after D-Day, and this is going to be us trying to push south.
Listen up. McGregor will take second squad down this road and hit the Jerry's right flank.
McGregor's a private. Why would he take second squad?
And keeping the Jerry's busy. Let's go.
Yeah, he's a private. There's a corporal in there. That corporal should be in charge. So we got our brain gunner. We got our Sten. We got a Sten here. Yep. And
let's go.
So I should probably use and talk about the Sten. So the Sten was basically a what's the best way of explaining it? Oh. Okay, I thought I was away from those grenades. But the best way to explain the Sten is that it was basically an emergency weapon that would later actually go on to kind of show how submachine guns should be built. Before the Sten gun, a lot of submachine guns actually had a lot of effort and resources put into them, so they were actually quite expensive. Which, for British forces after the Dunkirk campaign, where they lost every single rifle that they had. Every single Lee Enfield lost at Dunkirk was literally every single Lee Enfield the British had. Pretty much. In fact, it was such a problem that the British Commonwealth forces needed to actually send emergency aid to Britain, old Lee Enfields and everything war related to the British in order to protect Britain. Because at the time, places like Canada, Australia, and New Zealand were not threatened because Japan wasn't in the war yet. So they could afford to not have weapons for a while in order to refit the British Army. Although, very quickly, the the Japanese would end up invading Malaysia and those areas. And that led to, Australia actually being in danger. Which is kind of funny. In order to rescue Britain, Australia and New Zealand was put into a pretty bad scenario because because they had to send in emergency aid to Britain. But this is also where the Sten gun comes in. Basically, they needed a really cheap way to make submachine guns, and the Sten very quickly became a thing, because it basically is like, okay, I don't know what I died from, but basically a Sten gun is it's just a bunch of tubes, like, slapped together, pretty much. You can actually build it in a kitchen, and they oftentimes were built in kitchens. Yeah, it's actually a very interesting little gun that was built as an emergency thing, and would later actually go on to inspire a whole bunch of other submachine guns, or at least submachine gun philosophy post-war. That submachine gun should not really be this expensive thing, but should be built cheaply. Now, obviously, in modern day, they kind of gotten away from that, because now building techniques and materials, I really should have come up with a nice Sten. Makes making a high quality submachine gun easier. But yeah, it's actually a really interesting thing, where it's basically the exact opposite of the... Jesus Christ. I should probably pay attention a lot more. But basically, it was like an emergency gun that would go on to actually, like, create a brand new philosophy for really most submachine guns post-war.
On the other side of the low wall, to the north.
Come on, buddy. But, yeah. So, as I was saying before, the British actually had a pretty rough time, once they got off the beaches. They weren't exactly unopposed. They were fairly unopposed on Sword Beach. But on Golden Juno beaches, which Juno was assaulted by the Canadians, actually. They did not have that much, like, of an actual, like, hard time actually getting onto the beaches, like I said earlier. The problem came after, the beaches, because they very frequently ran into very hardened German defenses. Part of the reason for that was actually the British kind of feared the British and Canadian forces more than the American forces. So they're kind of like, we can get away not putting a whole amount of forces against the United States. We can instead focus it on, you know, Britain, Canada, and the rest of the Commonwealth forces. Run out. Realistically, that should have killed me. As much as I'm getting... I always die because of grenades and my own stupidity. But yeah, grenades have more range than just that. That's kind of pitiful range. Where are you? There you are. Thank you, Henderson. Dang, Henderson's like the hero of this. Oh yeah. Alright. Okay. ND42. Let's get down over here. him. Okay, let's move up. Yeah, there's the machine gun. So let's not try to take him on head on, but try to get a good angle on him. Yep, there you are. I don't know why, it sounds like someone's coming behind me. And pop up. Oh. Lone guy flanking me. Actually, pretty smart move. After all, I think I'm doing the most damage. Do you guys want to, like, push up? Or, guess I'm gonna have to do it. Let's get down. I'm gonna have to generate. Now, let's go. Move up. Clear upstairs. Okay, it's clear. Up.
Don't shoot! Please! Nicht schießen! We have wounded here!
I did like German accent.
Hold your fire, lads!
I say we slot a solid lot of them.
Hold your fire, that's an order!
Whatever you say, sir.
And here we have a whole bunch of American wounded, which of course these are Rangers because I think they only made Ranger prisoners of war, which I'm not entirely sure they should be Rangers, but they can be Americans.
Davis, check your gear! There might be more Jerrys out there. War's not over just because we won this little fight.
Alright. So now, we have to go rescue the wounded and rescue the good old prisoners of war. Alright, we're gonna get attacked. Just gonna say that right now. Spoiler warning.
Davis, we've got to get to the lorry! It's in this direction, come on, follow me!
Punch them.
This way, Davis!
Gregor, you wanna, I don't know, shoot? Thanks, Gregor. Thank you, real helpful. I got killed, meanwhile Gregor's just hanging out there doing nothing. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, McGregor. McGregor, you want to help? McGregor, please, help. Oh, good. You killed one guy. Oh, yeah, thanks, man.
Davis, we've
Fine
got to
side
get
of
to the
help.
lorry. It's in this direction. Come on, follow me.
I want to stab you. That would not do a whole lot of damage because, you know, that's a wire stock. Made pretty much out of sheet metal. But I do like this little, like, way of showing it. It's not just an action scene. Like, here's an action scene with context. And we have the Panzer Shark, which should be here.
Looks to be in good shape. The Jerrys were even nice enough to leave us a full tank of petrol.
Yep. Problem is, I don't really have a whole lot of ammo for the Sten.
I've almost got a bugger. There! Hold on, Davis. This might get a little bumpy.
And now this is, I think, the traditional Call of Duty section of you're driving around in a truck and you're having to blow up tanks.
This lorry! It's all messed up! Move, damn you! Here for the Davis! It's a
I do like how he's trying to drive around these things because that's their actual purpose, was to force vehicles to go around them. They're called Dragon Ski, or at least that's what their nickname was. This is probably the most ridiculous part. Like, oh, that should have hit. But, like, this Tiger tank would probably just absolutely destroy this.
I can't believe it! That was one big bloody tank back there. Good work, Davis. I owe you one. Hell, I owe you two.
Yeah. Realistically, that Tiger tank should have absolutely destroyed us. Because there's no way you could fire that as fast as you can in the game. Because that's a two-man weapon.
Well done, Sergeant. You know, Davis,
Oh.
I almost envy this lot of Yanks. The bloody war's over for these poor bastards.
No, it's not. Given this guy's condition, he's probably dead. Because it seems like he's choking on blood. So... And it's probably not the end of the war then. They're probably going to get sent to an aid station, get patched up, and then sent straight back to the front lines. Because, you know, that's how World War II was. A lot of people kind of forget this when you take a look at, like, modern wars. If you want to see what World War II was like, a good example is... I don't entirely like bringing up, like, modern politics and modern wars and stuff like that, but Ukraine is a great example of what World War II kind of looked like. It's still not entirely perfect, like one-for-one comparison, but it's a good look into how World War II was. It was not a good war. It was bloody. It was destructive. A lot of guys were badly wounded, and oftentimes they still had to come back into fight because, you know, you just needed manpower. This is Cavalier coming back. I'm actually splitting the recording in two. Originally, I decided to do both missions at once. Unfortunately, the second mission took a little bit longer than I thought, so the episode was originally like almost an hour long. So I decided to cut it into two more manageable sections. One which will come out today, and the next one which should come out on Friday, which should be tomorrow. But either way, thank you for joining me. If you liked the video, I would appreciate if you liked and subscribed, and have an excellent day.